Hi y'all, welcome to Shade Tree Garage. I'm not a mechanic, I don't pretend to be a mechanic, but I got a boy here who needs his car fixed. It's been running a little rough, so I'm gonna start with the basics. I checked on a fuel filter. Turns out with this car, to replace the fuel filter, you have to replace the whole fuel pump. Not a good idea, and this car is not fun, a lot of work. So what I did is I put some premium gas in it and it got it to run a little bit smoother. Now what I'm going to do is replace the spark plugs and see if that helps a little bit. So I'm going to take this one step at a time and see how it works. The spark plugs are underneath these little ignition coils. So I'm going to do a time lapse on this and let you see how I do this. This is going to be 10 millimeter there, pull them up. I'm going to set this up and do a time lapse for you so you know exactly what's going on. Found another ratchet, older ratchet, but for some reason this plug is extremely tight in there. It's almost like someone used thread lock or something on it for some reason. I need to check and see, make sure the threads aren't stripped or some silly thing. The threads all appear to be okay. But look at that plug. That is a burned out, fouled out plug. Looks terrible, terrible, terrible. That way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You already got momentum. You got the first one in.
This is more like it.
That's a big difference.
It's a much better looking plug.
Mm-hmm. That just might have a little something to do with it.
Maybe. Put
that in conjunction with the clean fuel
should make some difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the clean fuel did make some difference already.
Is that your doggy?
But I think, yeah, that's our doggy.
Yeah, and I think this is something that needed to be done too.
Yes.
Apparently.
Okay. I don't know what torque setting this is supposed to be at, so I'm just going to get it tight without going too tight on it.
Right.
I don't want to have to struggle to get it back out.
Hey, doggy.
Put the igniter back in place. Last two I might be able to get out without actually disconnecting the wire. I'll find out in a second.
The last two, you already took the bolt or the thing out, right? Yeah.
That out. I don't think it's really possible to make a mistake and put these in the wrong spot.
No. They won't go.
They just won't reach.
Yeah.
It's not like a V8. One plug that was covered in oil, another plug that was fouled. And look at this, it's just lean. It's like horrible lean. Look at that rusty. I've never seen a rusty plug before, but they exist, apparently.
Maybe that guy didn't change him like he told me he did.
Maybe, because that looks older than the hills to me.
But he sure enough charged me.
Yeah. They'll do that.
Yeah, especially it was my first time going to him. And he saw that I really wasn't that well versed in car mechanics, so.
Yeah, and these are iridium plugs. They should get a really good spark. I'm using this socket that has a rubber boot in there that holds the plug in place. And then it'll drop out. There we go. Seems to be going in, threading in nice. Smooth. Again, I don't know the proper torque setting, but it's torqued down tight. Now this one's easier to turn out for some reason. Another really rough looking plug. Do hand tighten and quarter turn should be good enough. That's not very technical, but I've never had a spark plug come loose on me. If you look at the washers on spark plugs, they have basically two washers where they will flatten out slightly. So you don't want to crush it completely, but you want it to crush down a little bit. Make sure you get a good seal. And this is a 10 millimeter. Same thing, get it down tight. A little bit more just to snug it. Just to snug it. Unfortunately, I broke this clip. Maybe $high to replace, but it'll still stay in. That's just a safety feature. But to remove this, all I had to do was lift this up. I didn't need to get in there with a screwdriver and break it like I did. All I need to do is just push down on this end. That comes up and it slides out.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Ruby.
Honey.
He's right here.
The dog?
He runs around. It's good.
Yeah, he's been back
in
and
the
forth
yard.
about 4 or 5 times. He'd be right over here.
It's good. He won't leave the yard, I'm telling you. He is afraid to leave the yard.
I know, but he also.
Let's fire it up, see how it works. See if it's smooth.
Does this tire look like it's low to you? Think it's low? No. I know.
It's hard to tell. We need to put a pressure gauge on it to know for sure.
Feels cold, but.
Give it a little gas. Okay. Sometimes the simple things pay off. No more hesitation, just with the plugs and some clean gasoline. I happen to believe that one of the bigger problems was that this car was running low on fuel for some time. Keeping it below 1/8 of a tank during winter months is not so great. It's been 75 degrees during the day and 45 degrees at night. The temperature difference creates condensation in the tank. So I believe we were getting water in the tank, and the spark plugs were showing signs of water because they were rusty. So I think that's the biggest thing. You got to keep your tank full, especially at wintertime. When you have a huge temperature swing, you get condensation, period. There's no way around it. So if you keep your tank full with less air in the tank, there is less chance of getting condensation. You won't get as much with less air. Pretty simple stuff, but it's running good now, thankfully.
Janet again.
Janet again?
Yeah.
It's always the wife or the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, take it for a ride around the block and see if it's still smooth. I'm going to take the camera with us. And let's see how it goes. First tune-up on Shade Tree Garage.
Don't get discouraged if it does it. I mean,
We will see what happens here.
oh wow, perfect.
No hesitation?
None. Nothing. Perfectly smooth. Perfectly smooth, man.
Gotta love the simple things.
Dude, it's perfect.
Well, let's take it around the block.
Yeah.
Make sure it keeps doing perfectly.
Oh wow. I mean, that sounds something different, but
That's the power steering pump.
perfect. And first, drive.
Yeah,
Wow.
Might need a little power steering fluid in there.
Dude, it's perfect, man. That's whatever it was is fixed. I guarantee it. Smooth as a motherfucker. Wow. That's excellent, man. Such a relief, dude.
You can keep the old cars on the road for a long time.
There's a street up here, I'll turn around. Wow, it's awesome. It feels just like the day I bought it. I guess it really had to do with the spark plugs and then also the gas. There.
Let's pull into the driveway
Yeah,
here and back out. The moral to the story is you can keep old cars running smooth with just the simple things. Spark plugs count. You know, a lot of people neglect them and keep driving around on them, but you gotta do it. You gotta keep them
It feels
fresh.
so smooth, man. I'm really, I'm very impressed. I'm very surprised at how smooth it is. I know it creeps up on us quick here.
Step right a little further.
Wow. Thank you, man, so much.
I'm glad we're able to get it. Like
Yeah,
I say,
yeah, me
you
too.
gotta keep your fuel tank full.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah,
if
on
you're
the
low,
31st, I'm gonna fill it up and I'm gonna keep it full.
yeah, if you're low on funds, pretend 3/4 of a tank is empty.
Yeah, yeah.